My roommate's #CK was too tempting, and I couldn't resist. When I first moved in with Jason, I thought it would be simple. Just 2 roommates, splitting rent, keeping things casual. No drama. No complications. But I was wrong. So wrong. Because Jason wasn't just any guy. He was the kind of man you notice the second he walks into a room. Tall. Built. Confident. The type who made heads turn without even trying. His voice was deep and smooth, like something out of a late-night radio show, and the way he carried himself? Effortless. Dominant. At first I ignored it. After all, roommates don't get involved. It's a rule. But the problem with rules? They're meant to be broken. It started with little things. The way he walked around the apartment with just a towel hanging low on his hips. The way his muscles flexed when he reached for something on the top shelf. I'd catch myself staring. Lingering. Wondering. Then came the teasing. Like what you see. He'd smirk when he caught me looking. I'd roll my eyes, pretending I wasn't affected. But I was. Oh, I was. The tension between us grew thicker by the day. It was in the stolen glances, the accidental touches. The way he'd brush past me in the kitchen, his fingers barely grazing my skin. It was a game. And we both knew exactly what we were playing. It happened on a Friday night. I had just come home from a date. A terrible one. The guy was boring, predictable, and worst of all, he had the nerve to call me cute, like I was some puppy. I slammed the door shut and tossed my purse on the counter. Jason, who had been lounging on the couch, looked up with that damn smirk. "Rough night?" he asked. I sighed. "You have no idea." He sat up, stretching, his abs flexing under the dim light. God, why did he have to look like that? "Maybe you're dating the wrong guys," he said, his voice low. I swallowed. Hard. The air between us shifted. And then he stood up. He walked toward me, slow and deliberate, his gaze locked on mine. I could feel my pulse quicken as he stopped just inches away. "You know," he murmured, "we could stop pretending." I should have stopped him. I should have walked away. But then his fingers brushed my arm, sending a wave of heat through my body. And I knew this was about to happen. The first touch was electric. His hands were strong, confident, like he knew exactly what he was doing. Like he had been waiting for this as long as I had. Our lips crashed together, and suddenly, the tension that had been building for weeks erupted like wildfire. The living room. The kitchen. Everywhere. By the time we reached his bedroom, there was no turning back. He wasn't just my roommate anymore. And that night changed everything. The next morning, I woke up tangled in his sheets, my heart pounding. Reality hit like a tidal wave. What the hell had we done? Jason was still asleep, his arm draped lazily over me. He looked peaceful, like he had no regrets. But I did. Or at least I told myself I did. Slipping out of bed, I grabbed my clothes and tiptoed to my room. I needed to think. To figure out what this meant. Would things go back to normal? Or had we crossed a line we couldn't come back from? For the next few days, we tiptoed around each other. Awkward glances. Stiff conversations. It was weird. Until one night, I caught him staring at me from across the kitchen. Are we just gonna pretend that didn't happen? He finally asked. I hesitated. Maybe we should. His jaw clenched. And if I don't want to? Silence. Tension. A challenge. And just like that, I knew. This wasn't over. Not even close. Comment below. Would you risk it with your roommate? Like this video if you love juicy drama. Subscribe for more scandalous and shocking true stories. You won't believe what's coming next.